Hello everybody, you're very welcome to today's interview with Ger Alley. Ger is the General Manager of the Heritage Hotel in Killinard, where we had our launch of the Chamber only a short few months ago in September. So Ger, you're very welcome today and thanks for taking the time to speak to us. Would you like to just give us a little background on how the pandemic has affected the hotel and from the start what the hotel had to do and how you reacted?
Yeah, thanks Bernie, thanks for having me on first of all, and it's great to see the networking that's been done by the Laois Chamber. It's energising at these times. So first of all, unfortunately, nearly 2 months now, so we're forecasting that we will be closed for 4 months in total. So we aim to reopen our doors on the 29th of June for our restaurant service and ground floor offering, and then the 20th of July for bedrooms. So reversing back to the 16th of March, we made a decision on a Monday to close our doors after a weekend trading of business in line with government guidelines. So a really tough decision, happened very rapid. In the space of 4 days, we had a town hall meeting with our staff, kind of gave them notice of what potentially might happen, but it just happened so quick then. So we have 190 employees. So we laid off 95 of the employees, unfortunately. We're more or less in the service industry, so cash flow, it needs to be coming through the front doors to be able to go back out to pay our suppliers and pay our staff. But obviously, you know, staff are number one. We took over the property in 2019, so we're engaging with them bi-weekly. They get a letter from myself, and they engage with their HODs as well. So it's our we want to get them fully back employed and back to what we were doing for the first quarter of 2020.
Okay, so in terms of the government supports around the temporary wage subsidy and so on, could you avail of any of those supports?
We did. So for health and safety reasons, we obviously have the property 24-hour surveillance. So we have a team of staff still on site.
Yeah.
So of course we availed for them then. It was very welcoming. It was a great support, great, very well rolled out by the government. So we've kept on a security team. Like most hotels, we've kept on our maintenance team to touch up the property. And we've kept on our senior management team as well to look at the business and to where we're going. And obviously, look, there was cuts in between, but it's to keep them and get our business back and regenerate where we left off, as I said.
Yeah, and in terms of managing cash flow through these times is a challenge for everybody. So I suppose these supports have helped. Anything else you've kind of looked at?
Yeah, they have helped indeed, and it's the biggest challenge in any business is cash flow. And when you just see it coming to a standstill and it's stopping down, and especially when the first 4 to 5 weeks, you're seeing your reports, your forecasting reports, where not only did the money stop coming in, but the potential business on the books, obviously so everything just starts dropping off. So yeah. From April to May, just dwindled off, and then we made the decision again with government guidelines to contact all our customers and cancel the bookings with them. Yeah. And by doing that, obviously it's a resource on our side, but we feel that they'll remember us on the other side when we get back. So from emails to phone calls, we contacted all our customers. Predominantly our business was domestic leisure, so it's all individual bookings. So we contacted them all. Cancelled them and just said, look, we'll be in contact again. So yes, challenging, but it's important to talk to people, talk to your staff, talk to your customers, and as the cliche is, we'll all bounce back stronger together. But I really do see how that will happen.
Yeah, and you have, in fairness, you've been very active on social media, staying engaged, and that's gonna stand to you. And particularly now, people know that the hotel is going to be open from the 20th of July, and you've a strong message to send out.
Yeah, exactly, and that was very important for us that we kept that marketing tool going. We built our brand last year in 2019. We developed it. We spent a lot of time on it. We worked on it. We're very, very passionate. We're developing the market we want to be in. We're the new world that we all talk about that we're going to go back into. We are some way lucky that last year's business, 2019, was 80% of our business was domestic Irish business. So that's fantastic for us that we don't have to tweak a whole lot when we go back. Of course we do in our spa in different areas, and we've got huge vast areas out here in the Heritage in Killinard. We're blessed that the weather's been so good. We can see it now for July and September, we're really, we've a whole new sales and marketing strategy, and it's all about reconnecting. Come to the heritage, reconnect with your parents that you haven't seen, and talk to people. And then again, also we've got so much good landscaping around our 5-kilometer walking track, just everything. And we see new opportunities of where people will be able to have picnics. And this isn't just for this year. We envisage this to develop it into next year. So that strategy was launched this week and has been very, very. The goodwill or the appetite is definitely there already, and it's going. We're linking into a whole group strategy on that as well. That'll be launched later into mid-June. But we're lucky that we're owned by a good Irish hotel company, which is FBD Hotel and Resorts, and the message that we want to portray is that we're Irish owned, Irish ran, and that's what we're all about.
Yeah. And in terms of your booking system now is taking bookings from July 20th onwards. So have you seen an uptake in bookings already?
Yeah, most definitely. So this week was or even the last week was a slight spike, slight growth, but this week has just been we're blown away. It's been look, it is baby steps, but it's really energizing to see the interest and we spend a lot of time developing these new packages. So in the packages, it can't always be in hotels. We're trying to add more value into these packages. We're not going to race to the bottom, reduce all our prices and just give it away. We can't do that because our costs have now got higher. And, you don't want to, we can't tell our customers that. We need to give our customers the reassurance of what we're doing for the whole COVID policy and that they will come into our luxury brand and be looked after and know that they can still have a luxury item and touch and feel it in the property. But we have to be able to give them the comfort back in that. So we built all them packages around it, and it's to add value into them packages. And in Laois we have some great value, like it's going to Emo Court, Haywood Gardens, all the areas. And look, I'm a Laois person myself, and I'm blessed. I'm very passionate, and we sometimes don't. And I don't want this to be perceived the wrong way, but I worked in the surrounding counties. We've got great hotels and great tourist attractions in Laois. And as a colleague of mine on Laois Tourism sometimes says, we need to sell Laois to Laois people first, and then we will say, and I won't take credit for that saying, but and then it'll sell to everyone else. And I'm not saying we go after the whole Killarney kind of Kerry tourism slant, but we've got great people in Laois, great facilities, great services. So if we start talking about them, if we start promoting them, the people will come from the surrounding areas and down from Dublin, everywhere. They want to get out into the open. We've got a resource that we just don't know that we have, and we just need to explore it straight away.
Yeah, and as a person from one of those surrounding counties, I totally agree that Laois probably has been undersold over the years. And since I've come to Laois, I can't believe what's there. And I'm always talking about Laois when I'm at home in Maynooth. So look, I think it's a brilliant opportunity for Laois tourism. I know it's been a devastating blow to all the members of Laois Tourism, but I think you're a really strong group and you will rise to the top out of this. So just in terms, Ger, of, managing your staff remotely, you'd have a number of staff that are out, haven't been back to the hotel probably since the shutdown. How's that going for you?
It's been good. Look, it's been challenging as well. So the whole remote setup has been quite positive. Obviously, the Zoom calls take over, and we've even took it a little bit further. We went in with our IT company, and we use Microsoft Teams now, which allows us a little bit more security. IT is going to be huge. We need to be very innovative of how we do business going forward. So yes, it's been good. We would talk to each other twice a week, kind of the senior team, but also, we do a weekly Zoom call with our HOD, with our managers as well. And that's been very low key. We don't talk, we try and tell them a little bit about business, but we talked about what we were doing and how they were, and just to engage with them. And it was upbeat, to see them. We do it every Friday at 3 o'clock. It kind of finishes off the week, and the last couple of weeks you log on, you see some of them, what they've done in their garden. We asked them to see what they've done and the garden work they've done, the suntans they have. But there was good upbeat, good confidence. And then at the end of it, the desire to get back in and the passion to get back in and work in the heritage was there as well.
Yeah, well done on that, because I've seen some of the stories on Instagram from your employees, and I think it's really great to see that engagement. It's very impressive.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah,
Look, it's a good message to
yeah,
portray. It's a little
yeah,
bit light-hearted. I think. I
yeah,
think we are. From the whole COVID, we've relaxed a little bit. We learned to love each other a lot more, and that's important too.
yeah,
And
yeah,
for my role as well, I came in January 2019, so it's given me a time to reflect and seeing how we kind of approach our people and
yeah,
look after our people, and really they're the ones that build that brand that I spoke about earlier. They're the ones that serve the tea and coffee every day, and then on the flip side, they're the ones that give the money back into the economy. And I've
yeah,
spoken to the council. We're lobbying with our local TDs that like the tourism sector is huge in Ireland.
yeah.
260,000 employees in hotels alone. Like I was on a webinar listening about weddings yesterday. Weddings are worth 1.2 billion to
Wow,
the economy alone.
wow, wow.
12,000 weddings a year.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
crazy, and it's
Yeah,
hard to believe that is just being pushed to one
yeah,
side for. But look, obviously, health and
yeah.
safety is key and number one at this
Yeah, well,
stage.
hopefully all those people will still get married. You'll just have more weddings for the next few years.
Most definitely, and
And
look,
yeah,
we've seen that trend, and we're dealing with people, and it's
yeah,
important to talk to the people and look after them. There's uncertainties there for them, when we have to be there as a support
yeah.
for them.
And it seems that you've been very active in kind of preparing the hotel to make it safe for customers and employees, and the return and the reopening. You're using a company, you were saying, to help
Yeah,
you,
so we've
advise you on that.
engaged.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've engaged with two companies, and one of them we would have used our health and safety consultants. Are called Sea Change, a Kildare-based company. So they would do all things health and safety. So they've risk assessed the whole building for us, so back of house and front of house. So when we will bring our employees back from our front of staff from the 29th onwards to service our restaurant, and then the rest for the 20th of July. So they will all be re-inducted back into the property.
okay.
Obviously, they're not new employees, but they need to be, the whole training. We've allowed that budget for them to all to be retrained back into the property, and that's like we've allowed 2 to 3 days for each employee to get the training back in, so they understand all the policies. There's a huge pool of work with COVID, and it's very important as well. It's a pandemic, it's a virus that the unknown is there, so we need to protect our employees, number one, and then also our customers. But in that also, we've linked in with an external company as well, which is the food safety company. So again, they risk assess all our kitchen from our practices. So once a month, they've set up a whole COVID policy. Again, it's a company we would have worked with prior to or previous to COVID. So they've just said it brings our hygiene standard up. So it's called Hygiene Assured. So they really hygiene in the hotel is going to be number one now.
Number one, yeah.
Kitchens, yeah, nothing can go, and it comes from the top down, and we can't let hygiene drop. So it becomes a whole hospital hygiene feel to hotels now. Hygiene was very high, of course, in hotels, but it's just really number one, and to give that assurance back to our customers.
Yeah, and I think you seem to be totally on top of it. And even I spoke to you a good few weeks ago, and you were even going down this road. So you've been kind of planning. Yeah. You've been planning since the lockdown to reopen, really, in reality.
Yeah, we have, Bernie. We're lucky. We broke it into 3 phases. That we got the building locked down. We protected our cash. We looked at our cash flow. We stress tested our business for 6 months, and then we stress tested for further until the end of the year. So with no income, and could we survive? So that stress test was done, and that was done from the direction of head office. So the supports were there. It's very good. So it's good to see it. We've now reforecast our business from when we opened from the 29th of June for our restaurant and the 20th of July. We've reforecasted towards the end of the year. So, and that's very hard to reforecast of, the unknown. And I've also got the team to do a plan B forecast. So, the first one is very aggressive. We want to try and get it back in, and we don't know what restrictions are coming either from the government. So we're working off 2 working documents of reforecasting it down. Then the second phase was to look after our staff, secure our staff, and try give them the comfort that we will have them back into employment. And then the third phase is obviously reopening and getting that business back on the books. And to see, we're looking towards even into next year. We've started our forecasting as well to see where the growth will be. Will it be next year? Hopefully, we were optimistic that we will see it kind of in the summer next year. It really depends on aviation and when the corporate world starts moving again. But look, from 2019 trends, we had a fantastic year in 2019. We don't envisage we'll see that until 2022.
And the customers are still there. They still want to come to your hotel. So that's a great starting point. I suppose, I think one of the upsides of this pandemic is the appreciation for workers in hospitality, in bars, in the local shops. There's a newfound respect, and I think people want to support that, keep local employment going, keep business in their local community. So there's a whole new mindset, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely, and we're lucky. Our staff, we have a big catchment area, mainly from Laois, so from Port Harrington, Mount Mellick, Port Laois would be our biggest areas, but we have people as far as Rathdowney, Durrow, myself, over to Strab Valley, so all catchment areas of Laois, and that only goes back into the economy, from their grocery shopping to their social gatherings. It goes back into the economy, and that's what we're trying to lobby for. So business might be slow, but we've potentially forecasted that our payroll costs will be higher. Of course, they'll be higher, but we need to get them staff back in, and it keeps the economy going, and it's supporting each other. And it's and from these networking, the chamber events, it's great to hear different stories, especially from the grocery industry in different areas. So it's slow to know where we're going to go, how we're going to do it. So I really feel networking with each other locally is going to be important. The business people talk to each other, adopt their story. We're very good at kind of having a secret of, this is how we do it. Nobody else, close the book. And innovation is going to be huge. And one of my staff might come back and they could have an idea. We have to be open to that, and it could be. It could solve a lot of problems in the hotel, but we need to be open and listen a lot more.
And I do find businesses are definitely been much more open and honest about their current status and sharing big time. Whereas before, as you say, people kind of might have kept stuff to themselves. If someone rings you up to look for help, you're only too delighted to share, with them. So I think that's a huge piece I'm seeing, and we're trying in the chamber, I suppose, to kind of have relevant events for everybody to kind of get something out of. So look, Ger, it's great to see you in the hotel today, and really looking forward to coming back. I have to say, I do miss going up and down to Laois every day, so I'm looking forward to coming back and seeing the hotel in operation, socially distancing. You've so much room there, that's not going to be as much of a challenge as it might be for their smaller venues. But look, looking forward to seeing all your staff, and you're doing great work, and thanks again for joining us today, and stay safe.
Yeah, likewise, Bernie, and thanks very much for the opportunity. Thank you.